Listen, I've thought about this before I reveal the ladder. I no longer want to vote. 100 people have votes. They pass them out like candy. Only one person has a ladder. Reveal the bottom rung. Number 6.
Right.
Demar Derozan. My God, Derozan. No one saw this coming. Not his family, not Greg Popovich, not Zach LaVine. DeMar DeRozan, for his career, 20 points per game, 46% shooting. At age 32, he goes to Chicago and is 28 per game on 50% shooting. This is like Rich Gannon with the Oakland Raiders all over again. Listen, he's right now 6th. He's going to get some votes. It's an amazing accomplishment by him. But he's not the MVP. But he deserves, as Wilds knows, I care about, are you in the conversation? He's in the conversation. Yeah. Number 5, another guy in the conversation, Nikola Jokic. Nick, what? I thought you hated Jokic. No, that's just a myth on the internet. Last year, I had Jokic 2nd. This year, I have him 5th. Back-to-back, top 5 MVP ladder finishes for Jokic, and he could move up slightly. Nikola Jokic, now, what he has going for him is obviously he is carrying the Nuggets. What he doesn't have going for him, and the reason he's not higher, is right now he's carrying them to a game out of the play-in. Listen, the guy is averaging nearly a triple-double for a 6 seed that's going to win 47 games. But it's not like we'd ever give the MVP to someone like that and then regret it. Oh, wait, that's exactly what they did with Russell Westbrook. And everyone hates that MVP. Don't do it, voters. Regrets. But, Joker... Oh, yeah, of course, yeah, no regrets. Broussard's got that tattooed on his arm. No regrets. But you should have a few MVP vote regrets. No regrets on the ladder, however. Number 4. Come on down, Ja Morant. Oh, Wilds calls him the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. You know what I call him? A culture changer for the number 2 seed Memphis Grizzlies. Raise your hand if you had Memphis as the 2 seed at the beginning of the year. Everyone put your hands down. You're all lying. He is leading this is what I don't understand. When people talk about Jokic compared to some of these other guys, like, oh, he's carrying them. Yeah, Ja leads them in points, in assists, in steals. He's 2nd on the team in rebounds. He leads them in minutes. They have an unbelievable record. He has been spectacular this year. He is 4th in my current MVP ladder. Number 3, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid, who might win the thing. And listen, he's been awesome. And it's been impossible circumstances. And his defensive presence gets, I think, underrated when we talk about him versus Jokic. Because Jokic, oddly, has the best BPM of any player in basketball. Even though he's clearly not the best defensive player. Defensive BPM, I should say, for Jokic. Embiid, however... he needs to have a big finishing kick, and I don't think he's going to get it because I don't know how much Philly wants the 1 seed, much less if they're going to play him enough to go get the 1 seed. So Embiid's been sensational. He was probably the MVP last year until he got hurt. Right now, I have him 3rd. Number 2, somehow now is he underrated, Giannis? I think he might be. Yes. Do you know Giannis's numbers this year? I'll tell them to you. 30, 12, and 6. And he answers the bell like the best player in the league is supposed to for the big games. Opening night of the year against Brooklyn, he hangs a 32, 14, and 7. Blows them out. On Christmas against Boston, a 36, 12, and 5. Both games against LeBron this year, 44 and 47. He shows up for the biggest moments. He's the best player in the league. You could argue this should be the 4th straight year he wins MVP. I have him 2nd. So if I have him 2nd, who do I have 1st? Oh, is that Luka Dončić's music? It is.
What?
Some numbers for you, my friend. Oh, what? What? I'll tell you what. 28. Sorry, let me give it to you exactly. 28, 9, and 9 for the season. Oh, Luka had this slow start. Well, that's interesting because 28, 9, and 9 has been done for a season in NBA history by a couple of people you might know. Oscar Robertson and the MVP vote that Broussard, I just got him to say he doesn't regret. Oh, Russell's 1 year, and now Luka's doing it this year. It's the 2nd time he's done it. However, since the last 2 months, how about 33, 10, and 8? 33, 10, and 8 for 2 months. How about since Christmas, the Mavs have the third best record in basketball. How about since Christmas, the Mavs have 13 wins against current top 6 teams, playoff teams. No one else has more than 8. He's carrying a Mavs team. Oh, but what about the team around him? What about the team around him? Tim Hardaway Jr. really making you that excited? Luka's been the best player in basketball this year. There's your MVP ladder. Broussard, you have a vote. I will not be upset if you just copy this. Now, there's time left, but as of now, this should be the MVP.
Well, I certainly will not copy this. And, Nick, ladders like this aren't going to help you get a vote. I'm sorry. And I don't know where Wilds is going. Jokic way too low. Ja Morant, I love Morant just like you two do. But they're 13-2 without Ja. And we saw last night them absolutely demolish Indiana without Ja. I'm not saying they're better without him, but man, they're rolling without him. That's for darn sure.
Broussard, can I ask you a question and just interrupt real quick? Do you actually think it would be better if the Grizzlies lost every game that Ja didn't play, and that would bolster his MVP case? Then what do you want him to do?
It would bolster his MVP case. Because it would show, it would.
Tough one.
With Steve Nash, the first year Steve Nash won his MVP, nobody in their right mind ever thought Steve Nash was an MVP candidate. The question was, will he make another All-Star team when he went to Phoenix, right? And he goes out there, totally turns Phoenix around from 29 wins to 62 wins. And what really put him over the top was he had a stretch, I think he missed 5 games or something like that. And Phoenix fell off the map. Scoring was way down. Lost maybe every game that he was out. And that's what made you say, he's the guy that's doing it. He's the straw that stirs the drink. It's not Amari. It's not Shawn Marion. It's Nash. And so that does factor in. I'm not saying they'd be better without Ja. Clearly they wouldn't. But they're 13-2 without him.
They have to lose.
So it is something you factor in. But Nick, you got one right, Giannis.
It's a sacrifice.
At 2. The MVP, though, the MVP is Joel Embiid. And I don't think you'd be too mad about that. You know, he's with Philly with your guy, Daryl Morey. But not only does he lead the league in scoring, not only is he top 10 in rebounding, not only is he a terrific defensive player who anchors a top 10 defense in the league, not only does he lead the league in free throw attempts, which is huge, but he's doing all of this when their second best player, you know, before the trade, didn't play a game. And not only did he play a game, but he totally scored, dismissive of the entire franchise. Right.
That's right.
And he has been a good leader throughout all of this, not only on the court, but off the court. And since James Harden's come in, his numbers have actually gone up from 29 points a game to 31 points a game. Nick, this calendar year, 2022, Embiid's averaging 32.5 points a game. So he has been dominant on both sides of the floor. I would go with Embiid as the MVP.
So listen, just very quickly here, you're right. I wouldn't be mad if any of the top 4 were to win it. I think the top 3 plus Jokic are the only ones with a chance. I don't think Morant has a real chance. I just think he's been great. The reason I have Embiid 3 is I think Giannis has been a touch better. And you mentioned that Embiid did all of this with his second best player, sitting at home until a big trade. What if you were doing all of this when your second best player actively hates you and works against you on the court like Luka had to do with Kristaps before the trade? And since Kristaps is gone, Luka's taken it to another level. So, 6-1 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Like, what's worse? Like having Ben Simmons not show up or having Kristaps show up and just exude hatred of you while you're on the court doing your thing? I don't know. Wilds, what say you, my friend?
Okay. I'm not saying this person should win the MVP. Just like I ain't saying this person wants to be nominated. It's like, look, how movie studios release movies at certain times so the Oscar voters can be like, wow, I just watched that movie. Yeah. I have to vote on my Oscar nominations next week. It's fresh in my mind. It's really good. It's peaking at the right moment. That deserves a nomination. That's what I want. And our version is the conversation. Jayson Tatum. Ooh, have you seen Tatum since the All-Star break, Nicholas? Oh, yeah. Guess he led the Celtics to 40. Talk about a slow start. 41 wins for the Celtics. Same as Chicago, same as Denver, same as Philly. And look at since the All-Star break. Wow, 33. I get a Larry Bird-esque 33.3 points per game. So I just want him in the conversation. I want to be nominated for our version of the Best Player Oscar, Best Picture Oscar. He want to be nominated.
So here,
one nomination.
I'll just be since the All-Star break is obviously a small sample. We're talking about 10% about of the season, but he has been sensational, and the Celtics have more than turned a lost season around. They've turned a lost season to potentially a very good season. So I want to be very clear here. Just because I don't think Tatum's a top 10 player in the league doesn't mean I don't think he deserves some consideration like you're saying. If this went to 7 rungs, I think Tatum and Karl Anthony Towns are fighting for that 7-8 spot. The reason I did 6 is I've heard, I don't have an actual ballot, but I've heard the ballot is 1 through 5. So I figure the ladder should be the 1 through 5 plus the honorable mention. But if we went to so Tatum would be, he's right there beneath DeRozan, and he could pass DeRozan. I don't think he can go any higher. I also think, you know what, I've changed my mind. I want to vote again. This would be a great ballot, Jenna. Nobody else is going to have this ballot because nobody else sees things the way I do. This is a great ballot. It's so much groupthink. So much groupthink in these MVP votes. Everyone's going to be Embiid, Jokic, 1, 2, Giannis, 3, John Morant, 4, DeMar DeRozan, 5. It's what everyone's going to have. Go ahead.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.